Top of the morning, fight fans. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. Been hearing a lot of buzz about Shawn Porter, Mr. Showtime, and Andre Beast Berto. And let's talk about this beef, man. It's been going around. I've seen the video that was floating. And Shawn Porter has to have an opponent by April. And it's been in negotiations for months that Andre Berto is going to be the next opponent. However, when the call was made to Berto seemed bewildered on why Shawn Porter was calling him. And he had to announce what he was currently doing. Hey, I'm taking the shit. Why are you calling me right now? This ain't how fights made. Well, the fight was already in play. The fight was already in motion. So what part about, hey man, you want to fight? Yes or no? Don't he understand? Berto's acting like Shawn Porter just came out and disrespectfully said, hey, let's fight, let's get it on without any further notice. That's what Berto is claiming, and that's what he told reporters. However, this fight has been in the works. I've seen both sides, and that's, I never take a side without seeing both sides of the story. And Berto he's supposedly offended. Now he's from the streets. Now he's from the hood. Now he's from the Flow Rider state. Well, hey, we don't do that. We don't disrespect people like that. That's out of character. We can fight with no gloves on. But I'm like, you're mad at Shawn Porter because Shawn Porter called you to ask you why we're not fighting, or do you want the fight? The same fight that's negotiated. Same promoter, Al Heyman, Uncle Al, right? Shawn Porter here, Andre Berto there, right? Why is this fight being made? Why is this fight happening? Andre Berto. Because he's the only one that said he did not want the fight. Now, when he was stepped up, I guess he didn't like the idea of Shawn Porter calling him out while the cameras were rolling, because it put him on the spot. He couldn't make anything up, on a quick fix. That hesitation, caused a lot of people to scratch their head, including myself, because it's like, okay, you can't tell the Porter side that you want the fight, but yet you can say, oh man, well, I'm from the streets, man. We don't do that. That's out of character. I whooped a lot of asses, without gloves on. Okay, so a guy's asking you, step it up to you, and ask you, hey, I want to fight you professionally. We're prize fighters, right? And then you say, oh man, this ain't how you do it. This ain't how you do it. But I will come to Vegas and whoop your ass. I will do that. I whooped a lot of asses in my day. And I'm like, okay, that doesn't even make sense. You'll fight a dude outside the ring, but you won't fight for money. And the money's there, okay? The money's there. The date's there, right? The contract's been lined out. And Berto hasn't signed, So my only thing is, this is my take on it. I don't think Berto's playing a game. He's playing a game of fear. That's the only game that he's playing. I don't think that he wants the Porter fight. You can't say that, oh, he just came off a fight. There's some kind of schedule conflicts, right? Because he hasn't fought since April, since he knocked out Victor Ortiz in the 4th round. You know what I mean? I think your pockets should be getting pretty thin right now because you ain't fought nobody in a while. And I've seen on the, you can't say I'm out of shape. You pull up, you pull up your shirt, you show your abs, So I'm like, okay, so what's the problem? April, it's February. Let's make the fight happen. How long does a training camp supposed to be? But yet you want to go to social media and say all this and call Shawn Porter a clown and this, that, and the other. There's nothing wrong with a fighter that's calling you up and asking you what's the holdup. Do you want to fight or you don't want to fight? It's simple as that. There's no confusion about this. You ask somebody that you want to fight me professionally, and they go to the left, and they call you a clown, which Andre Berto did. He called Shawn Porter a clown, and that pissed Shawn Porter off because Shawn Porter just wants to fight. The dude has 2 losses against Kell Brook and Keith Thurman, right? And he's still one of the top welterweights. On the other hand, Andre Berto, what has he done lately? As of almost a year ago, he beat Victor Ortiz. Who is Victor Ortiz these days? He's fallen off the totem pole. Yeah, it kept Andre Berto in someone's face by knocking out Victor Ortiz, and that was his first loss. So he avenged his first loss. Big ups to him. However, what is really not a big significance. If it was me, I think it should really be the other way around. If Berto should be calling Porter, with this aggression. But there's no resistance there. Porter wants to fight, right? And whoever wins goes to bigger and better things. It still keeps Porter there. He gets a name, gets another belt on a notch under his belt, right? By beating Berto. But Berto doesn't. He seems hesitant. That's a hesitant move. You know what I mean? You don't want to. The money has to be there. It's the business. And I made a video about champions versus businessmen. You know what I mean? Now he's pulling the businessman. The same shit. With the Floyd. Oh, the money has to be there and this and that. There's no need for hesitation. He's not on Floyd's level. But that doesn't stop people from wanting to be on Floyd's level or trying to emulate what Floyd does, trying to mimic, his actions. So Berto's pulling that, so he's going to social media, oh, well, the money has to be right. I don't know what he's talking about. And, dude, you have no excuses. There's no miscommunication. You got the same promoter. You got the same people that's handling these contracts. This fight has been in the works for a very long time, and now you're going to turn around and say, I never heard of it, and I'm offended that you called me out. I don't know what boxers' problem are. I don't know what their problem is these days. I don't see what it is. It's like, these days, man, you have guys that, like, I'm going to tell you a perfect example. Canelo Alvarez and Erislandy Lara. That fight was never going to be made unless Erislandy Lara came out. And, that pissed Canelo off because he did it at the post-conference and after the Angulo win for Canelo. And supposedly that pissed Canelo off. I was like, that was disrespectful how he did it. Now, I can understand that, a little bit because Erislandy Lara just kind of bum rushed the party. He was like, hey, you want to fight? Everybody wants to see, paraphrasing, it was in Spanish, right? Everybody wants to see this fight. When are we going to fight? We fought the same people. He's like, yeah. He tried to play it off, but hey, the fight was made. That's when I seen a little, I seen some swimmers and Canelo Alvarez's ball sack at that point. You know what I'm saying? Because he took the fight, right? I don't think he won the fight. It was a close fight. You know what I mean? But, it was, it was what it was. But Shawn Porter didn't do that. In comparison, I can understand if Shawn Porter would have came to the post press conference after Andre Berto knocked out Victor Ortiz and was like, hey, when are we going to fight? When are we going to make this fight happen? Now I can kind of see Andre Berto doing that. But even if he done that, okay, that's what boxers supposed to do. That's, if you want to fight a guy, you call a guy out. Like Andrade did in the Charlo fight. You know what I mean? When are we going to fight? And then obviously, and Charlo had something to say, like, he was salty about it, like, oh, well, man, why you disrespecting me? No, he's not disrespecting you. He wants to fight. A boxer with an opinion will go a lot farther than a boxer without an opinion. I've said it before, and I said it time and time again. The businessman aspect should be only kept or stayed in place with the promoter, not the boxer. The boxer's job is to fight. Okay? If you want to talk about business, don't mention business if you're a fighter. Talk, the money has to be right. Because, that's an excuse. That makes it a cheap excuse for you to duck a fight. You know what I mean? Because that's what a lot of fighters do when they really don't want to fight fighters. They talk about the business aspect. Oh, it's the business. No, man, the money ain't right. It's the business aspect. No, you leave that with your manager. You leave that with your promoter. Your job is to fight. If you're scared, just say you're scared. Don't try to save face, because it's not happening. And this is a clear-cut case. Because let me break it down to you. If Andre Berto agreed to fight Shawn Porter, and they actually fought, Shawn Porter beats Andre Berto. He does that bulldog ass style, that very, high pressure fighting, and Berto can't get off. And I know for a fact Berto doesn't want that type of fight. You know what I mean? Because Berto is a guy, he's quick, he's fast, but he needs room to throw his punches, his combinations. And he has good power. He has good power and speed. But if you noticed in the Robert Guerrero fight, right? If you notice, which he also lost, Robert Guerrero, is an inside fighter. I think Robert Guerrero is a dirty ass fighter. You know what I mean? I think he's a tough guy. I mean, he has a good chin, but I think he's a dirty fighter. And he fought Berto on the inside, and Berto couldn't create the distance to get his punches off. Just like Adrian Granados and Iman, right? That's exactly the same type of fight. And he's going to initiate that same type of game plan, I guarantee it. He's not going to let Berto get those punches off and set up those quick, fast combinations like he's used to. He's not going to do that. And Berto knows, and his camp knows, and in his heart he knows this is the wrong type of guy to be fighting. Because if Berto loses this fight, he's out. Okay? He's not a gatekeeper. He's not anything else. He's out. He's done. There's not going to be any other fight for him. He's going to be back on PBC maybe. He hasn't fought in a year, guys. 10 months. You know what I mean? 9 months, that's a long time. Where are you? We're going to start calling you Waldo. Where are you? So when these guys call people out, and these boxers call other boxers out, there's no disrespect in that. In any aspect. They should accept it or decline. They don't have to disclose the reason. If you're scared, I'm pretty sure they won't disclose and say that they're scared. But, if you're not scared, don't take it as an offense. Step up and fight. But that's it. That's me counterpunching this subject. This is Kurt DeVille with Counterpunch Boxing News. Please subscribe. And you guys been counterpunched. Peace.